Today on NewsWatch, the politics of personal destruction. Donald Trump campaign rocked by bombshells as women start claiming he groped them. And Hillary Clinton is facing hundreds of new emails leaked. Plus, amazing grace for teens in trouble, how a ministry called Heartlight is giving young people a restart. And we'll hear from the Grammy Award-winning Christian band for King and Country and catch a preview of their new movie release called Priceless. And thank you for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. Multiple women have come forward claiming Donald Trump groped them. As controversy swirls around the billionaire's campaign, his rival Hillary Clinton is facing her own issues. Thousands of hacked emails have exposed some harsh comments from inside her campaign. George Thomas has more.
5 women are accusing Donald Trump of inappropriate behavior, among them Jessica Leeds, who alleges she was groped 3 decades ago while sitting next to Donald Trump on a plane. She recounted the events to the New York Times.
He was like an octopus. It was like he had 6 arms. He was all over the place.
The paper also interviewed a woman who claims the billionaire kissed her on the mouth without permission while in an elevator in 2005. Trump's campaign denied both accusations, calling the stories a fiction and completely false. Late Wednesday, a third woman, Tasha Dixon, a former Miss Arizona, came forward claiming that Trump would walk in on naked girls while they were changing backstage at the Miss USA pageant.
He just came strolling right in. There was no second to put a robe on or any sort of clothing or anything. Some girls were topless, other girls were naked.
Dixon accuses Trump, who ran the pageant, of taking advantage of the contest.
I'm telling you, Donald Trump owned the pageant for the reason to utilize his power to get, around beautiful women.
I moved on her, actually. She was down in Palm Beach.
All this happening days after a leaked video showed Trump making lewd comments about women. With accusations still flying, nearly half of the country started voting early this week as hundreds of people stood in line from Ohio to Florida. With both candidates heading into the home stretch, Clinton, for her part, still cannot seem to shake off the WikiLeaks trail. The group dumped another nearly 1,200 hacked emails from inside her campaign Wednesday. In one exchange, her campaign chairman, John Podesta, urges Clinton to reach out to, quote, needy Latinos during the presidential primary. Donald Trump pounced on the emails.
The new emails also show members of the Clinton team viciously attacking Catholics and evangelicals. Did you see that? No, the press doesn't want to report that one. That could be election changing. It's just the latest evidence of the hatred that the Clinton campaign has for everyday faithful Americans.
Meanwhile, new revelations about the investigation into Clinton's use of a private email server for high-level government business when she was Secretary of State. The FBI director recommended no charges against Clinton, but a source telling Fox News that many of the FBI agents and DOJ attorneys who worked on the case believed Clinton should have been charged and her security clearance yanked for keeping the off-site server. And high-ranking FBI officials said it is safe to say the vast majority felt she should be prosecuted. George Thomas, CBN News.
As we've been reporting, conservative leaders are outraged after members of Hillary Clinton's campaign staff mocked Catholics and evangelicals. WikiLeaks' latest release of hacked emails shows her campaign chair, John Podesta, and John Halpin calling Christians backwards and unaware. House Speaker Paul Ryan is blasting those comments, saying all Americans of faith should take a long, hard look at this and decide if these are the values we want to be represented in our next president. Ryan says the emails reveal the Clinton campaign's hostility towards Christians. Another Atlantic hurricane is being described as extremely dangerous, but this time it is headed for Bermuda. Forecasters say Hurricane Nicole has strengthened into a Category 4 storm. Its sustained winds have increased to 130 miles an hour, and it is about 180 miles south-southwest of Bermuda. The storm is expected to pick up speed as it hammers Bermuda today. American officials say the U.S. has destroyed 3 radar sites off the coast of Yemen. The strikes follow 2 incidents this week in which missiles were fired at U.S. Navy ships. President Obama authorized the launch of the Tomahawk cruise missiles to destroy the sites. Pentagon Press Secretary Peter Cook said the strikes were conducted in self-defense. He added the U.S. needed to protect personnel, ships, and freedom of navigation. Officials have not provided information on the casualties. Russia's Vladimir Putin is expanding his influence in the Middle East by building a naval base in Syria. It is just one of the latest moves by Russia, as some military analysts believe it is taking advantage of the American presidential election to strengthen its position in Syria. Chris Mitchell shows us how this situation also threatens the relationship between Russia and the U.S.
Global foreign policy experts believe perceived American weakness and inaction in the Middle East, combined with a lame duck presidency, open the door for Russia to gain a powerful foothold in the region.
They're going for absolute victory, and they're trying to effectively bomb eastern Aleppo into surrender. The Russians now figure, well, it's a good time to really achieve as much as possible in the last dying months of the Obama presidency, when there will almost certainly be very little pushback from the Americans.
As the only major city where rebels maintain a stronghold, Aleppo faces constant attack from Syrian and Russian troops.
The Russians have noticed there was a vacuum in the Middle East, and they're doing their level best to themselves fill that vacuum, and by so doing advance Russia's strategic interests.
Bombing of civilian sites, including hospitals, has prompted Washington to cut off talks with Russia about a ceasefire.
Russia and the Syrian regime have chosen to pursue a military course inconsistent with the cessation of hostilities.
Russia stepped in to help Syria's president stay in power about a year ago. That put it at odds with the U.S. and Western powers.
And that's what the Russians are doing, pouring everything they can possibly muster in order to help Assad. By contrast, the American agenda in both Syria and in Iraq has been extremely confused from the outset.
The situation got worse when Russia admitted deploying a missile defense system in Syria.
It's not quite clear why the deployment of the S-300 has worried our Western colleagues.
Analyst Jonathan Spire says this action is clearly intended to deter the U.S. because rebel groups have no planes or ballistic missiles.
So when you put an S-300 into Western Syria, what you're saying is to the Americans or anybody else, well, if you were thinking of putting planes up and acting against our allies, against the regime forces, we're ready for that, and that's going to, have consequences potentially.
For Israel, which shares a border with Syria, it's a big concern. The S-300 complicates Israel's ability to strike Iranian weapons convoys making their way across Syria to Hezbollah in Lebanon. In the meantime, what's good for the Russians hasn't been good for the Syrian civilians.
As we are Syrian, we can't bear anymore to see children, they are killed in front of us and keep silence. United Nations is useless. They are killer, they are murderer, they are liar.
Spire says since the Cold War, the U.S. was like the sheriff in the region, maintaining a degree of order. Now that that's gone, there's a different reality.
When the Americans did not pursue their stated interests in Syria, then you end up with a situation of a very ruthless power, Russia, coming in, basically terrorizing a civilian population into submission before the eyes of the world.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
There is a growing link between criminals and terrorism in Britain. A new British report says an increasing number of criminals are joining ISIS and, quote, creating a gangster jihad. The report from the King's College London says nearly 60% of European jihadists studied by researchers had been in jail previously. The center's director says former criminals are a perfect fit for recruitment from ISIS. The researchers say ISIS offers criminals a chance at redemption without having to change their behavior. Satanists are asking Boston City Council to allow them to have the invocation that kicks off at City Hall meetings. The Boston Globe reports a chapter of the Satanic Temple told the council president it would be a breach of the First Amendment for them to turn down the request. They stated that those who normally give the opening prayer are overwhelmingly Christian. Other Satanic Temple chapters have made similar requests in other cities. Coming up, help for teens in trouble. So just what is Heartlight and how does it work? Find out after this. Young people today face a host of problems, from depression to drugs to questions about sexual identity. So it's more important now than ever they find the right kind of help. Charlene Aaron reports on one ministry in Texas where troubled teens have received help for more than 30 years.
Sitting on 150 acres, Heartlight Ministries reaches out to teenagers struggling with the pressures of life.
When I think about Heartlight, I think of Amazing Grace.
Heartlight to me is a second chance at life. I like Heartlight a lot because I get to restart with my life.
The ministry began in 1988 as a dream of Mark and Jan Gregston.
Somebody came to me and said, do you want to lead a young life group? And this was when I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, going to Tulsa University, and I was 19 years old, and I said, well, sure. And so started leading a young life group. A young man comes up to me, says he's struggling.
That's all Mark needed, as his passion has always been helping those who struggle.
God has just placed these kids in our life, and we've said, okay, let's start taking care of kids. And so that's what we've done.
Heartlight provides intensive counseling, mentoring, and group therapy to kids from all across the country. Those who need help overcoming sexual abuse, addiction, sexual identity issues, and more.
Back home, I was kind of in a spot where I didn't think I really wanted to be alive anymore.
A week before I came here, I tried to commit suicide. But I've just had lots of problems, like my parents passing away and like drug and alcohol abuse and sex and stuff like that.
The Christian camp is recognized as one of the country's finest residential counseling centers. But as Gregston is quick to point out, religion is not forced here.
They feel like God's abandoned them because they've grown up in Christian homes, and when something's gone terribly wrong, they go, well, God didn't take care of me. And so we've found that the only way to kind of move into them and to get them involved and give them a taste of the character of God is to do that through the relationships. And so we all know this, actions speak louder than words.
Heartlight has been home to nearly 3,000 teens. The ministry also hosts a retreat for parents, creating lasting change for the entire family. Boasting a success rate of 90%, Gregston is now expanding that positive change with a national radio program for parents.
The biggest challenge that we have is the parents. I mean, I look at parents all the time and I go, really the problem isn't your kids, it's you. And it's teaching them about the culture. It's showing them that it's changed completely, the way that people engage. It's showing them that some antiquated ways of parenting are no longer effective. When you're judgmental, it doesn't work. Kids shut you down.
Heartlight focuses on giving kids and their parents tools to rebuild their families.
It's helped me a lot just to get through my grief and feel my emotions and learn how to be myself, because I didn't really know how to do that before. And it's good because you have so many people supporting you here and helping you through your changes. And it's isolated, it's a little bubble so that you can work on the problems that you need to work on. So I'm doing good.
That's the goal Gregston set out to accomplish all those years ago.
I want them to be so loved while they're here that when they leave and go someplace else, they know they compare it to the quality of love that they've experienced here, and they go, you know what? Life may be tough, but I remember I was loved when I was at Heartlight.
A sentiment echoed from one saved life after another.
It's easier here to look at myself and be I like myself now.
Charlene Aaron, CBN News, Hallsville, Texas.
Up next, a man on a mission to rescue two girls he accidentally sold into slavery. For King & Country shares their new feature film, Priceless. Grammy-winning Christian band For King & Country has launched their fall Priceless tour. Their single by the same name has reached #1 on both Billboard and Christian charts. Now they've produced and starred in a powerful new film inspired by true events, and it's called Priceless.
You look beat. What are you hauling?
Nothing really.
Why would you have to go through all that? You're just hauling nothing.
I just for once wanted to do the right thing.
We want to thank you for helping us.
You want to be here.
I want to be a singer.
Did I do what needed to be done?
Hey, the girls, where are you taking?
It's not your problem. Happy trails.
These girls don't belong to you.
Those girls don't belong to anyone.
You go down this road, you can't go back to normal life again.
There's some bad dudes who are gonna kill you.
My friendship
comes at a cost.
This is not what love looks like.
I want to shut this thing down.
I see you dressed in white. How could you just leave us?
You have to trust me.
That word is broken for you.
I'm gonna make this right.
We're joined now by the brothers who are King and Country, Joel and Luke Smallbone. Thank you both for being here.
Ephraim, it feels like this is a
deja vu moment.
Yeah, a weekly occurrence.
You got it.
We like it. Good to be with you.
Let's keep it going. Now, you guys have long championed the Priceless movement. Tell us about the movement and why it's been so important to you.
Yeah. Well, you got to kind of go back to the beginning of the band. So, For King and Country formed about 5 years ago. And around that time, Luke had actually just gotten married. I had met my now wife at his wedding. It was a setup. She was brought actually for us to meet, and here we are. But this idea of love and commitment, relationships was very keen on our minds during that time. And so one of the things we started sharing about was, simply said, charging us as men to be chivalrous in how we love and celebrating a woman's worth. And it was met, Ephraim, with this kind of exciting but alarming response, almost like our generation was starving for this affirmation. And so we went to our brother Ben about 2.5 years ago, who's a filmmaker, and we said, man, we really feel like there's a message that needs to be shared, a story that needs to be told. And so literally from that moment, from inception of the story to acting in the film, Luke producing it, and now to releasing it theatrically on October 14th nationwide, we've been in every part of the process, and it's been exciting and preposterous, and we are ready. We're ready.
So how did you find the James Stevens story? We know this is inspired by true events. What made you want to make it a movie and a book as well?
Yeah, so our brother Ben, who directed the film, was actually editing a documentary probably about 10 years ago. And he was editing a documentary about a man who was kind of on the organized crime side of things, had his face blurred out, name blurred out. And he was talking about how his life had kind of been radically changed. And though he was on the wrong side of the law, when his life was changed, he was like, you know what? What if I was to use all the knowledge that I have for the organized crime side of things and actually use it for good? And that really stuck with our brother Ben. So when we came to him with this Priceless idea, he actually came to us and said, hey, I've got this idea about this dude who I edited many, many years ago. What if we were to loosely base this whole film around this story? And that's exactly what we've done. And we feel like it's been, I mean, it's thrilling to see the results, and just as we've been able to get this film in front of people, just to see their response to that story in particular has been very, very special.
Very exciting. We know the movie, as you said, opens on Friday. What can you tell us about the story or the plot without giving too much away?
Yeah. So James Stevens, who's the character I play, he's normal. He's American, so I had to lose the Aussie dialect from, but. I had a great dialect coach, and we wanted him to play an American to bring this story to American shores. But he's a normal man, but he lost his wife in a tragic accident and sort of spiraled into resentment and bitterness, in and out of prison, couldn't hold a steady job as a result. And his daughter was taken from him by protective services because he couldn't look after her anymore. And as a result, he really is looking for anything to get money, to get his life back on track. And a friend of his comes to him and says, hey, I got a transportation job for you. Drive a truck straight through from here to here. It's a long distance. You got to, stay awake, make it all the way. And against James' better judgment, he agrees to do it. Midway through the trip, in the middle of the night, he actually falls asleep at the wheel and runs off the road. And as he's surveying the truck, he hears crying in the back. He knocks off the lock, opens it, and realizes it's not what he's carrying, but who. He's got 2 young ladies in the back, 2 sisters. And so invites them into the cab and gets to know them a bit. They think they're coming to be a maid and a waitress. But as they get closer to the location, he really sees a strength and a character and a faith in the elder of the 2 sisters, which he's very much drawn to. But no sooner than that, get to the drop-off point, and he incidentally realizes that he sold them into slavery. So the rest of the film becomes this rescue mission for him, as well as the elder of the two sisters, Antonia, her kind of strength and character is really saving, rescuing him, if you will, on more of a mental, spiritual way. So she's a real hero in the picture as well.
Very well told story. We know human trafficking is a big problem in our country and around the world. Thank you so much for shedding light on it. We appreciate your time.
All right, thank you, man.
Absolutely.
Time now for your Thursday Thankful, and today I hope you will join me in this prayer of gratitude. Lord, thank you for a fresh round of grace and mercy each day. They are reminders that old keys can't open new doors. Keep that thought in mind as you go throughout your day. God is calling us all to innovation and to being creative in today's world that is needed to have influence. And our Father wants us to not only have influence, but use it to share His love, grace, and His mercy with others. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. Remember, you can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about. You can always find it at cbnnews.com. We'd love to hear what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hope you'll join us again right here tomorrow. Make it a thankful Thursday.